Have you ever worn a wool t-shirt? If not, thank me now, because you're in for a treat. Our friends at Unbound Merino sent me these clothes, and let me tell you, these shirts are different. 100% wool, and not like old, itchy LL Bean sweater wool. They are nice. I bought 5 more with my own money. They use 100% ultra-fine premium merino wool that is naturally odor resistant, antibacterial, and fast drying. Their style is minimalist, functional, and timeless. You can go work out or you can go out. You won't look out of place. Click on the link in the description and enter code Chael at checkout to get a special discount off your total first order. Henry Cejudo now has his 2nd world champion, guys. Don't forget Weili. Henry got credit for Weili. Henry now has Figueiredo. I didn't know this is what Henry wanted to do. In all fairness, when I first saw Weili associated with Henry, I thought Henry was helping somebody else market. He was helping his coach, Captain E, or he was helping the owner of the gym. Or Henry was in there getting his own workouts, and somebody came with a camera. They thought the story was told better to capture Weili and Henry and then say Henry was the coach. That's what I thought. But now Jon Jones has gone out and is training with Henry. And Jon Jones and Henry in the same training room doing workouts together. It's just a sight to see. And Jon is saying very good things, and he plans to go back and continue to get work at this gym. And now, this just in, Prochazka plans to train for Glover Teixeira by going out to Arizona and training with Henry and Jon Jones. I love it. I would love to see those workouts. Some of the best fighting I've ever learned, not to mention I've ever seen, was in practice rooms like that. And the old Team Quest guys, I could name drop on you. Oh, I saw matches that were pay-per-view main events. Matt Lindland versus Evan Tanner versus Dan Henderson versus Randy Couture, playing that game all the way through. Lieben versus Herman versus Corey versus Horwich. Throw Chael in there. Josh Haynes over in the corner. Rico Rodriguez coming through. Boss Rutan, Don Fry, James Thompson. I could play this game forever. I saw these matches that you would only dream of. I would love to see Prochazka and Jon Jones. I think it would be a major confidence builder for Prochazka. If Prochazka has that opportunity to come and spar with Jon Jones, he has to get on the airplane. He has to take that. Because he's either going to find out, man, I'm lucky as hell that Jon is gone, or he's going to say, I can go with the best who have ever done it. It's one of these interesting spots for Prochazka, but let me focus on Jones. What is Jones getting out of that? And I do believe you can get a good workout anywhere. That could be Jon and Henry just by example, but I've heard of some of Jon's workouts as of late, and he's in there with some very impressive partners, guys. If you heard some of the stuff I'm hearing about Jon and his training, really, really doing a great job. But none of the guys are big. None of the guys are heavyweights. And now they're talking about Prochazka coming over here specifically to go with Jon, so I think Jon is going to be giving a lot of time to Prochazka. Jon's ticket is up, by the way. The only thing that we've ever had waiting on Jon and when he's going to return is we were waiting for Francis and Surreal. That is behind us. Jon's ticket can come out of this hat at any point now. What the stakes are going to be and who it's going to be, that's always to figure out. But in terms of having a deadline that is now behind us and the return of Jon Jones being that more imminent, I wonder if Jon's getting there with some big guys. Because I've always taken Jon at his word. Jon's words were, I want to go up to heavyweight, but before I do it, I want to put on some size. I'm down for that experiment. That doesn't usually work. Nothing Jon Jones does usually works. It worked for Jon Jones. That's what being the youngest champion in history is all about. He went out and did something that nobody else could do. So I've got a very open mind to this. And Jon used to do a little bit better job of letting us in on things through his social media. Do a little bit better job of showing us on the scale, showing us what he looks like, showing us some of the workouts that he's doing. But as the time's gotten a little closer, he's gotten a little bit more reserved, and I am wondering who he's working out with, because if he did, in fact, have one and only one reservation, which is what he stated, the size, is he going with those big bodies, and if so, who? What does that gym look like? A gym that's got Weili and Cejudo, Figueiredo in it. But then you've got the opposite side, which is Jon Jones. Same achievement, same belt, same everything, very different body size. And now to the point that you got to fly in workout partners like Prochazka. Do we have some heavyweights in the room? I'm just asking a question. I'm just purely curious about the question. But do we have some heavyweights in the room? Jon is going to get better work with a light heavyweight. Contrary to popular belief, the heavier you go, the worse you go. Perhaps more dangerous. With that size, with that strength comes some power, but definitely a lower level of athlete. All the way up, but all the way down. So Jon is going to get better work and better movement than anything he's going to have to deal with in competition, regardless of the next opponent is, if he can go with the number one contender at light heavyweight, which is Prochazka, which is what Jon's going to do. Going to be great workouts. But will that satisfy the psychological piece that Jon had about having those bigger and heavier bodies? Now, I don't know everything about that room. He could have 3 or 4 heavyweights right now. I'm not declaring for you he doesn't. I'm asking the question, does he? Does he, and who are they? Gyms are generally pretty specific. I mean, you'll have the gym that's excellent for women. You'll have the gym that's excellent for the lighter weights. You'll have the gym that's the big guy room. I don't know a ton about this gym. I know they got Henry. I know they got Wei Lee. I know they got Fig. And I know they got Jon, and they're about to have Prochazka. Who do they have in between? Tell me a little more about this gym, guys. Tell me a little bit more. I want to know when they're practicing. I want to know if those are open workouts. I want to know if I can go down there and I can just take this in. I got to do that. I'm not vacation guy. I went on a vacation to San Diego. Coach Daryl calls me, tells me, says, hey, where are you staying? I tell him, turns out I'm 20 minutes away from Tiki and Paul Herrera's gym. Ortega and Dillashaw are getting ready to spar. And Juan Archuleta, 3-way group with them. They're getting ready to spar. Boom, that was my vacation. I drove down there. I saw things that I could never talk about. But is this one of those things? Can I go in? Can I watch Jon Jones spar with Prochazka? What if I promise to keep my mouth shut? Can I do it then? Because that's some stuff that I really would like to see. I would like to see those movements, and I'm going to have a very good understanding. And think about the advantage that Prochazka is going to have. He's going to go with the guy who he never could work out with because I was a former potential rival who is now not a rival. He's actually a teammate. Oh, and by the way, he's got experience having been in there with the guy you're about to face, who was Glover Teixeira. I get the whole thing from Prochazka, and I like it. I think the training for Jon would be phenomenal, but does it satisfy the psychological piece that Jon has revealed to us he's not quite confident yet, which is the size? We got some big boys in there. Is Jon feeling that power? Is he getting underneath some of these guys? Is he taking them down? Is he keeping them there? Does it feel different? They're just questions. But if I've got these questions, Jon has the questions. I'm asking you, does the gym provide those answers?